Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. This is Andrew. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be doing a solo run of Dead Cells, the roguelite board game. This is going to be my first time playing this. So I just read and tried, getting up to speed on the rules and how this game plays. I am doing the solo version, so I am going to have Serenade, which is going to be my little companion to help me along the way. This game does go to 4 players, so you can have 4 actual people, and I believe in 3 to 4 player scenarios you don't use Serenade, but in 1 to 2 player you do. So this is going to be first time seeing how well we do, seeing how far we get. I am a huge fan of the game. I've played Dead Cells for many hours, and I'm a huge fan of the roguelite genre, so I'm really stoked to see how this plays out in a board game format. I've heard good things, I've seen good things, so I'm very excited. And if it is, ends up being really fun and really good, I do hope to get some co-op playthroughs with Amber in as well, because we love co-op style games, and this seems like right up our alley. So I guess just to do like a brief overview of what is out there, I did pick the Immolated as my character. Let me tilt this down a little bit. And I have him set up, so he has everything is just set to level 1 right now. All my scrolls are set to level 1. I have just 1 basic ability. My health is 3 to start. I don't have any of my special, I guess, like fire related abilities on the bottom there. I do have the ability to mark enemies, which I actually don't know what that does. So marked enemies, when taking at least 1 damage, take 1 more. Okay, so they take an additional damage. That's awesome. Okay, and yeah, Serenade has the ability to trigger a couple effects on round 0 if I have a particular card in my discard pile. So a lot of the cards we're going to get here, I'll go ahead and draw 3 and see if I get any. Yeah. So a lot of the cards we'll draw here are going to have these symbols on the top left. So we have this like red fist, and then we have a purple lightning bolt. And when those are in my discard pile after using them, they will actually trigger some special abilities that Serenade will do. So if I had a green card or a purple lightning card, in round 0 of combat, it would automatically either freeze an enemy or mark them. And then if I had a fist at the end of round 3 of combat, it would do 1 damage, and it can do it to anyone in the full scope of range. And it's like that for the other 2 as well. So there's no like restrictions in terms of like where it can reach, which makes that a little bit more useful. We are starting in the prisoners' quarters. So just like the game, anytime you kind of lose or die in a run, initially we're always going to start in the prisoners' quarters. I do believe as you get further in the game and you start to unlock more things, that will allow you to start in different biomes. But the goal of the game is we're going to progress from the left side of the board all the way to the right, and we're going to kind of like a choose your own adventure, so we get to decide which direction we want to go. You do have to follow the arrows once you start. You can't backtrack. Which direction we want to go. You do have to follow the arrows once you start. Let's see. I don't know what's causing the echo. I don't know what's causing the echo. Okay, I don't see any other audio coming in. Okay, I'm gonna see if I hear it as well. I don't see any other audio coming in. I'm gonna see if I hear it as well. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. I pulled it. I pulled the stream up on my computer because I got the link and I sent it in Discord. So the stream was playing in the background, very low, and it was just repeating. I was like, I'm looking in Streamlabs, and I don't see any other audio devices like picking up my voice, and I'm like, what is? I don't understand what could be echoing. But thank you for calling that out because I never would have noticed that. I should just always check on my phone instead of the computer because I have the audio actually muted so I don't hear anything. But I was just trying to make sure it was I could share it out. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be making our way through the prisoners' quarters. That is the first biome, and you know, hopefully there's two ways the run can end. It's either one of our characters dies, or we defeat a boss. So I don't know exactly what happens when you beat a boss, but the rules seem to indicate that the game will guide you and kind of inform you on what you need to do. The one thing that's very interesting is this game is not... It has a lot of unlocks. So you have all these decks on the side here. And there's different styles. So there's tactics, brutality, survival, and then there's an abandoned well. And you can acquire those cards throughout the game. And you always... It's very specific. It always tells you to pick up the bottom card of the deck and you don't shuffle it. So there is a, like, you know, set in place order that you're going to be like acquiring these upgrades, which is really cool. So like it's, you know, it's something that is planned out and set up from the people that created the game. And then you also are going to have blueprints and equipment that you can acquire throughout the runs. And these will go in your little bag slots and give you more, you know, more flexibility, more builds, build crafting, some customization, and a little bit more power than what you start off with your initial cards. You also are going to acquire gold teeth. They're gold. I don't know why. You get gold teeth from monsters, and then you also get dead cells. And if you ever get dead cells, which are these blue icons, you can turn in dead cells for permanent upgrades. So these are things that are going to stick with you between every single run, which is really cool. So, you know, you're gradually going to get more powerful. You're going to get more upgrades for your character. You're going to get stronger. And then each run should get progressively easier and also give you the ability to start in different biomes and then tackle different bosses. So there seems to be a good amount of bosses in the game. And it's kind of neat. Like, I've never seen this in a board game format. Typically, when you get to a boss in a game, whether you're playing a campaign style game or a boss battler, like, you don't want to lose and you don't really intend to lose and like get stronger and then come back. So the fact that this is kind of like, you know, just like a roguelite in video games, you're intended to lose this and kind of slowly build up power. And obviously if you play well, you can still get further than somebody that doesn't play well. But the AI component of not knowing what card they're going to play every time is going to be a little tricky. Because they do have very strict rules in terms of what you can say to other players when you're choosing your cards on your turn for combat. You can't explicitly say exactly what you're doing, but you can give very general statements. So you can say, in round 2, I'm going to do damage to, you know, the guy in the front or the guy in the back or something. Or in round 3, I'm going to loot. And you can only say one thing. So everyone has to go off of that and try to make the best decision they can. I don't know if it just came out. So there's a lot of like, there's how to plays and there's a lot of reviews and prototype videos from like a year ago. So I want to say it came out recently. And like, there's a lot of people that talked on like board game forums and asking questions about it. So it is pretty new. Like, I think the official release is pretty new, but it's not like brand new, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, as we kind of maneuver across this board, we're gonna flip these tokens over, and the tokens are gonna tell us what is going to be happening. We're going to pretty much resolve whatever the effects are on those cards, and it's going to let us know what, you know, if there's a skill check, because there's skill checks in this game, and sometimes the skill checks can be from your hand. So it's going to see if you have a certain symbol in your hand, and if you do, you succeed. And then sometimes it's going to be a deck check where you're going to flip the top card of your deck and see if you got the symbol needed in order to complete the check. If not, you fail, and then that gets discarded. So there's a lot of different things that can happen on these tiles. Some of these are just going to be combat encounters that are going to trigger a fight. Some of these are going to be loot. Some of them are going to be like these obelisk looking things are going to be elite encounters. So you're going to be fighting elite mobs, which are going to be a lot more powerful. This guy is a merchant, I believe. So when you have a lot of gold teeth, you can go to the merchant and he will sell items, and he'll have the cost and let you know, like, you know, how many times you can buy and how many, what item he's selling. And the doors can be an assortment of things. So that's kind of like, it can be a combat, it can be loot, it can be a check, it can be all kinds of stuff. But yeah, when we get towards the end of the prisoners' quarters, you can see that there's actually going to be two options of where we can go next, biome-wise. So we could go to the ramparts or the toxic sewers. But when you look at the ramparts, there's actually a rune symbol for the connection from this area to the ramparts. So we have to unlock that rune before we can actually go to that biome. So at least for our first playthrough, we're most likely, if we make it that far, we're going to have to go to the toxic sewers. But in consecutive runs, whenever we finally do unlock that rune, we will be able to go to the ramparts instead if we want to. And there's going to be there's different equipment for different biomes. There's different monsters. There's different, like actual just straight raw equipment that you can acquire. And the bosses are different at the end of it, at the end of the biome. So like, there's a lot of variety there. And it's cool because, as we will see, like, the monster deck is pretty thick. So we're not going to always have the same encounters every single time we do a run. So there's randomness in there. And then these tiles are also randomized. So these tiles, we get more than what is needed on the board. You shuffle them together and then you place them out. So even the tiles can be entirely different when you do a new run, which is cool because they just pop right off. Like, it's just a blank board and you just put new tiles down every time you do a new run. So it's not always going to feel like you're just going through the motions and repeating the same thing. You will have some variety there. This big book over here is probably one of my favorite things. I don't know what some of these things are. Like, there's a boss cell slot. There's a skill slot. There's the interbiome, I believe, is what happens when we finish a biome successfully. And oh, what is that? Each beheaded has one available equipment slot. So that's during the game. You have equipment slots over there. Man. And then start of game. I don't know what a lot of that stuff is. But the top left is like a runes area, and I really like that all these things have like half sleeves. So you actually slot anything that goes in this is going to get slotted, and it's kind of like a way to save your game. So you have these runes over here, and I don't have any of the runes unlocked since I haven't played yet. But when I do, all I do is I flip the rune card over and I slide it back in. And now anytime I play in the future or do any consecutive runs, I have that rune unlocked, which is going to have effects on areas I can go in the game or certain actions I can take. And yeah, it's just, it's really cool. So it really does take that roguelite experience and brings it to a board game format. And it seems like it does a pretty good job from what I can see so far. And I love this. Like, I think all games should do this. I think all campaign games should have these boards that have sleeves where you can slot things in and save your character. Because God, that is like one of the most annoying things when it comes to playing those really, really heavy, large games with tons of pieces, tons of cards. It's very hard to kind of keep track of everything. So yeah, with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll see how this goes. So yeah, like I said, over here we have the different types of upgrade decks. I don't know when we engage with those. And then every single one of the characters has their own little cheat sheet. So this shows all the abilities that we already see on our board, but the back actually explains what all the symbols mean. And it even, actually, this is just very general. This tells you what the symbols mean for anything, like even your combat cards. So this is like a really cool cheat sheet for all the different icons you're going to see in the game, so you don't have to, you know, continuously go to the rule book. And everyone gets one of these. So we'll go ahead and get started. So right now we can choose to go either up or down. I do see on this top path there is what looks to be a deck check, and it is for the leader. So this icon, this little crown we have here, is going to be like the first player token, and it kind of like slots on top of your character like he's wearing a crown. But yeah, so whoever first player is who's going to do that check. Since I'm playing solo, it's always going to be me. But in a scenario where you're playing with other people, this thing is going to move around a lot, and that's going to determine who does certain things. Usually like the first person to go in combat, that's going to be the person with the crown, person to do some of these checks if it has that little crown icon, and different things like that. So the deck check has the ability to either heal us, give us a gold tooth, or give us a dead cell. And then that's going to lead to a door where the bottom path leads to a chest, but we have no idea what that's going to be. So let's go down first. So we're going to go ahead and flip our first tile. And it looks like we have a combat. So there's no star next to the little monster symbols. So we're going to fight 2 normal monsters. And then that little hand means that there's going to be loot in this fight that we can gather if we do one of our loot cards. So if you see on the bottom of this one, that card says in round 3, I'm going to loot anything that is out there. And that is how you acquire loot, unless it's a reward for defeating them. So our dude's going to kind of bump up there. That's our little group. And this is kind of like the combat track that's right above the biome. And yeah, so we have the 2 teeth here that are available to be looted. Now when I loot, I don't know if I loot everything or if I only loot one thing. So I'll have to verify that. But we're doing 2 normal monsters, so we're just going to draw from the top of the deck. First guy we got is the Grenadier. And he doesn't have any arrows on the top right of his card, which means he's just going to spawn in the leftmost slot. And it's kind of hard to see, but right above these monsters here, there's arrows. So there's like there's 3 arrows. This one, the first arrow is lit up. This one's the second one is lit up. And then this one, the third one is lit up. And that's just showing you the distance away from you. So when I'm playing some of these cards, you can see the damage I'm doing in round 2. It has an arrow to the left, and then it has arrow 1 and 2 lit up, which means I can choose to hit an enemy on the left side or in slot 1 or 2 on the right side. So that's how you kind of determine whether your card is able to hit the monster. Then we'll go ahead and flip that, and we got another Grenadier. But you can see that their effects are very different from each other. So the very first guy, in round 1, he's going to shield himself, which will protect him from a damage. He has 2 total health. So if we are able to do 2 damage before he goes, he will die before he gets his shield. So it's going to be the first player, and then any dead cell players, so any of the beheaded, they're going to go first, and then the 2 enemies will go in order. So I have the chance to kill him before he's able to get a shield out. The second Grenadier in round 1 is going to do a damage. And I believe when you take damage as a group, you are able to choose who takes the damage on our team. But if you see on the round 2 on that card, this one actually has like a crown next to the damage icon. So it's actually going to hit the first player. You don't have an option there. And then round 3 for the Grenadier on the left card, he's going to hit everybody for a damage. And if either of us die, we lose the game. I'm surprised you're not using the Andromeda's Edge tray. So it's actually in the table, and I didn't feel like pulling one tile up to like try to reach and grab for it. But I also, like, anytime it's not like easily accessible, I get excited to use the trays you got me last year. Because these are, I like how squishy they are. And they look really nice too. So I like getting use out of both of them. Let's see. Okay. So we can initiate combat. I am currently the first player. And in a solo game, I actually get to play 2 cards versus 1. Now, I want to try to do enough damage to... Ooh, so I could do... I think this is the move. I could do my marking ability, so I can mark the first target. And then I could do a damage. And then he would take 2 damage because of the mark. So that would kill the first Grenadier. But that means the second guy is definitely going to live, and he's definitely going to get a damage out. And the problem is I have no idea what he's going to do. And because I haven't played anything yet, I don't have a discard pile, so he's not going to get any of those bonus effects. Okay. I think I'm going to pick these 2. It's probably better to knock out one guy if I can. And then Serenade is going to flip over and do their top card, and that is going to be the action that they do. So, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything else. Oh yeah, loot. I wanted to make sure to see if when I loot, if I loot everything or if I just loot one item. Let's see. Actually, does it have it on our little cheat sheet here? I do not see the hand. It seems to be mainly the icons on like the enemy stuff. Okay. Yeah, let's double check. Combat example. Does anyone have the loot icon? Nope. Okay. Take all of one type of item. If there are 2 gold teeth and 1 cell, the player must decide whether to take the teeth or the cell. Looted scrolls and equipment will be assigned to the beheaded at the end of combat. Or you may use your loot action to assign a potion to a beheaded in your group. Simply discard a potion token and remove all damage tokens from one beheaded. Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right. So yeah, you choose one type and you loot all of that one type. So in this case, there's 2 gold teeth. So we get both of them. We go ahead and flip over Serenade. Oh, we are doing a damage. Oh, man. That's unfortunate. So this is a scenario where we're kind of wasting a damage. Because it is going to... Oh, no, you know what? I can actually target the second guy with my action. And then when I discard, I believe I get to choose the order that things are discarded. So I can ensure it has one of the icons in the discard pile on top in order to trigger one of its abilities. Okay. Has 1 available equipment slot. I don't understand what that means. Oh, I think that gets slotted and it upgrades our equipment slots so we can have more than 1. But initially you only have 1. That makes sense. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do a mark. I should probably separate a lot of these icons, which I did not do. Here we go. We're going to put a mark on him. And, oh wait, let's see if we have any round 0 effects. We don't have that. That is triggered. And we don't have anything there, so we don't do any round 0s. Okay. And then I'm going to do 1 damage in round 1. And I can either do it to the first or second guy. I'm going to go ahead and do it to the second one, because Serenade here can only hit the first target in round 1. So Serenade is going to go ahead and hit him twice because he has a mark, which then kills him. And on the bottom here, we can see that little like tombstone icon is the reward we get for defeating the monster. So we get a piece of loot, I believe. Draw a card from the equipment deck and give it to the beheaded to equip immediately or discard. So we got a piece of equipment already. And we got Cleaver. So this has the same icon as our ability. So if we ever get a card with the ability icon again, we are able to apply bleed in the enemy on the left or in the first 2 slots on the right. I don't know how bleed works yet. Guy's dead. But yeah, cool. Okay. And then he's going to go round 1. He's going to do a damage. And I will let Serenade take that damage. Serenade has 4 health and I have 3. I will go ahead and put the purple one on top, just in case. And then I draw up to 3. Ooh. Ooh, we can end this with the green card on top. And then at the end of combat, enemies shift over to the left. I don't know if they go all the way to the left or just 1 space. It doesn't really matter in this instance, but we'll double check that in a future turn. Okay, so now we're in round... Oh, you know what? Wait a second. So we keep these cards, and I think you just play them out. So then you would do the round 2 stuff. Oh, geez. That's not great. Okay, so round 2, I'm going to go ahead and do a damage to him. He is at 2, but unfortunately I don't do anything in round 2 on this card, and Serenade doesn't do anything on round 2, which means he's going to get to go, and I am going to take a damage because it's going to attack the individual with the crown. And then we will go down to round 3, so I should be sliding this as we're going to indicate which round we're on. And in round 3, I am going to loot. So I do acquire the gold Tiefers. And I believe this is our bag area. And then Serenade is actually going to do a damage and finish him off. So we did take way more damage than I thought we would in the first fight. And the reward for beating him is a dead cell. So we will get one of those, throw that in our bag. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and discard. Okay. That's pretty cool. Okay. So we have accomplished that. Now there's only one way to go since we chose the bottom path. So we're going to flip over the chest tile. Okay, and it says player 1 gets a green scroll. So we are going to get a health increase, which is awesome. So we get +1 to max health. And then this guy will slide over just to indicate where we are on that tracker. But we don't have to memorize that. Okay. Shift over. And now we're going to go to the merchant. So the merchant is selling 1 piece of loot, 1 piece of equipment for a tooth. And the teeth do not get us permanent upgrades. Those are only for this run. So I believe. So I am going to go ahead and spend 1 of these because I don't know if the bleed is great, but at least we can look at it and see if we have a better option. Oh, I like that. So this is a round 1 free action. And I can do a damage to slot 2 or 3. So it is a beginner's bow, and it gives us a little bit of range. I feel like the autofocus is not having a good time today. Ooh, so let's peek at bleed and see if we're missing out if we choose to get rid of that. Bleed. Place a bleeding token on one opponent. That character dies at the end of round 3. Okay, so bleed guarantees kill something at the end of round 3. Man, that's also very good. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I think I want to see if we get to keep the equipment and we can kind of like swap things in and out. Because if I have to choose one, that's a little bit more difficult. How's work going so far for you, babes? Let's see. Give me that equipment information. Ooh, you spend cells to get the upgrades. Can't complain. That's good. That's good. Dang it. Oh, nice. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Each beheaded begins the game with one available equipment slot. This means they can only have one piece of equipment until more slots have been liberated. When gaining an equipment card, you must equip it by placing it in your first available slot to the left on the bottom of the beheaded board. If you have no available slots, you must either discard the equipment card you have and equip the new one, or discard the newly acquired. Once equipped, a card cannot be traded or given to another beheaded during the run. Your equipment is used during combat and is either used as a combat round action or a skill action. Only one equipment card may be used by a beheaded. Oh man, so I do have to pick one. Oh, like I feel like down the road this could be really effective. Like if we have a lot of enemies, this is just a guaranteed kill. But I also like having a free round 1 damage for a ranged attack. And that eliminates them right away. Like that, this is more like early, and this is more kind of waiting it out. Oof. That's really rough. I think I'm gonna go with the bow. I don't know if I'm gonna regret this or not. That's the equipment discard pile. Okay. And yeah, you can only buy one. So now we have to go over to the right, which is going to be another encounter. So we got these 2 normal enemies. And they're going to have a dead cell that is lootable. And we like those because we want those permanent upgrades. We'll go ahead and move our guy up. First enemy is going to be zombie. Going to do 1 damage in round 1, 1 damage in round 2. If you get to round 4, which means all 3 rounds have finished and he did not die, he's going to do another damage. But if we beat him, we get a gold tooth. Does not have any arrows, so he's going to go in slot 1. And then we got another zombie here. Same exact setup for that guy. They both have 2 health. So ideally, we want to kill them as fast as possible. And that's where the beginner bow comes into play. So, oh my gosh, even better. So let's see, we got 3 cards. Round 0 effects. Since we have a purple lightning bolt, that's going to trigger the mark effect on Serenade. So we're going to get a free mark on any of the enemies. We can choose whatever we want. Oh man, these are killer. Okay, so we're gonna put that on number 2. Oh, I like this. Oof, I want to loot. Heck yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick my 2 cards. Okay, this is pretty cool. I like this already. All right, so we have our 2 cards picked. So we're gonna go ahead and flip over Serenade's card. Serenade is doing 1 damage in round 1, and that is it. Dude, Serenade kind of sucks. Yikes. Okay. So we are doing 2 damage in round 1 to the monster in slot 1. And then we are looting. And then Serenade is doing a damage to the character in slot 2. And it's marked. So it's going to do double. And we're going to kill both of them before they get a chance to do anything. We also had the bow, which was guaranteed damage on the second zombie if Serenade was not able to do that mark. But we're in a position where we kind of overkill everything. So we can actually just defeat everything before Serenade does anything. So we're going to do double damage on the first zombie. That's going to get us a tooth. Oh, I grabbed a 5. No one saw that. And that guy is defeated. And then we are going to loot. So we're going to take that dead cell, put it in our bag over there. Get more of those permanent upgrades. And then we're going to use our bow before Serenade even goes and just shoot this guy for double damage. So he is also dead, and we get another tooth. Okay, awesome. All right, so those are the cards we use. So I'm going to make sure that the green arrow is put up top, which means we're going to be able to freeze an enemy in the next combat, which can be very, very effective. And I believe freezing just skips their action that round. So place a frozen token on the opponent's next action. They cannot perform any actions that combat round. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Okay, so we were successful in defeating the zombies. And now we're going to go down to the door. See what the door has. Okay, so this says we're going to move the first player marker. If I can pick it up. We'll put that over there. Oh, Serenade, underneath its name, it says, hey, listen. We got a little Zelda reference there. And then it's going to say, we're going to acquire another gold tooth. Sure, why not? And we get a red scroll. So in the case that if this was for me, I would be able to move my brutality marker over. But Serenade did get the first player marker. Oh, they got a little defocus there. Serenade did get the first player marker, so it's actually going to move their scroll instead. And we also activate this rune, I believe, if I am not mistaken. So their scroll's going to go over, which means we get another 2 teeth. And now we have 6. We have lots of money. Lots of money and nowhere to spend it. Camera, come back to life. Maybe I can just like lean it. Huzzah. Okay. There we go. All right. So in that case, we go ahead and flip that rune over. I think that's how that works. Until this card is turned over, ignore all instances. Oh, wait. It says ignore all instances of this rune. So does this... So I think this may trigger something. So maybe this doesn't flip the rune over. Wonder how you know when you flip runes over. The autofocus is not working at the moment. Hmm. I wonder if there's like something blocking the lens or something. So I don't think we flipped the rune over for that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just like completely blurry. You know what we could do though? Let's see. Just gonna turn the autofocus off for now. I don't know why it wants to be finicky. That's still... I mean, that's still pretty good. Yeah. It's probably... I'm guessing it's because there's no, like, light above it. Maybe it's not happy with the light. Okay. So yeah, I'm not sure if that actually triggers the rune or not. Or if that's just like, if you have that rune, this thing happens down there kind of scenario. Because the mark on the board doesn't say, you know, turn over the rune. And I'm guessing it's going to explicitly state that when that happens. Flip over the corresponding rune card on the mutation board. The rune's use is written on the card and stays with you forever. Mutation board. Your group may gain runes over the course of a run. If you discover a rune, simply flip over the card with the associated rune symbol on the mutation board to reveal its colored side. The group now possesses that rune for all future runs. Of course, a run. If you discover a rune. So is that discovering it? Like it is there. Well, we'll flip it over for now. And see, so it says when setting up each biome, all tiles on spaces showing this rune are placed face up. See, I don't think I'm supposed to get that yet, because this, in this instance, when setting up, this would trigger this one to be face up right away. So we have an idea of what to expect if we go that path. So I don't think that is what they're referring to when they say when you discover a rune. That's my guess. I think it'll just be on something else. Okay. Oh, dang. So I do have to shuffle because I'm out of cards. So we went and moved the scroll over for Serene. Or Serenade, sorry. And we got a tooth as well. Okay, so we were going to go down here, and now we're going to go up to this last encounter. Oh, geez. So the first player marker is going to move over, and now we are going against 3 enemies, and they're going to have a purple scroll that can be looted, which would move over our special ability and give us another option. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, I guess we just bump on up, and we're gonna draw 3 normal enemies. So at least we have no elites. First guy, got a zombie doing damage in round 2, 3, and 4, and he does not give you anything if we beat him. So that's kind of lame. Here we go. We got a undead archer. Our first undead archer there. He's going to do damage in round 2. I don't know what that symbol next to the damage marker means in round 3, so we'll have to check that. But if we beat him, we get a gold tooth. And then last guy, the grenadier. He's going to shield in round 1. He's going to do damage to everybody in round 3, and if we beat him, we get a dead cell. So we definitely want to try to take that guy out. And we do got our handy bow now. So the archer has 2 health, grenadier has 2 health, and the zombie has 3 health. But the grenadier will shield himself if he lives this round. Oh, I actually have a bleed effect on one of my cards. I don't have any. I do have a round 1 bow attack. But I don't have anything to hit the grenadier in round 1 on my cards. So I am not going to be able to defeat him on my own. But I'm really hoping that Serenade will draw something that also does damage to him. I think that's what we're going to hope for. Dang, I want to loot too. It's so hard deciding on like whether it's worth looting or not. Oh, this card's also looting though. The bleed could be good on the first zombie, but then we would take 2 damage. Let's see what that other icon means. Deal 1 damage to the opponent with the most or fewest health points. Oh, so it's going to target the person with the fewest for that icon. And if it's a tie, first player decides. So we pretty much just get to choose who gets hit. Oh, man. I feel like I do not have great cards for this. Double loot is kind of it's kind of a waste. Okay, I mean, I think we're gonna go with these two. Is the bleed? Oh man, like I don't want anything to live long enough that I need to wait on the bleed is my concern. I could take out the archer. Yeah, I could guarantee take out the archer myself. I mean, I guess we can choose our cards and then choose who we're going to hit after we see what Serenade has. We'll flip those over. This is the last card for Serenade. So Serenade's doing double damage in round 3. Oh, that stinks. So far away. And we do not have any marks. Mark would be great right now. Okay, so we are going to go ahead, and I guess in this scenario we are just going to target the undead archer. Oh, I don't know if I caught that or not. Drop the token. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit the undead archer. We do not have any round 0 effects, unfortunately. And then we're going to use our beginner bow to hit the undead archer again, which will kill him. I like how big these cards are. Like, I love that. They're just so massive. Okay, so we get another tooth for that. And yep, that did nothing there. He's doing nothing there. So that is the end of round 1. And then we're going to go ahead and move to round 2. I cannot use that in round 2, unfortunately. But oh, he gets a shield as well from round 1. And make sure I don't forget that. So he is beefed up. Oh, that sucks. And now, in round 2, oh, he's going to slide over. Thank goodness. So I could hit him for 1. Ugh. We don't have enough damage to kill him. Oh, no, I guess, yeah, technically we do. We do. But then the other zombie is going to get 3 hits off. And this is where the bleed would have been good. I'm already regretting my decision. That was really hard not knowing what Serenade was going to do. Oh, man. We might die or barely make it through here. That's crazy. So double damage on him. We do get a dead cell if we kill the Grenadier. And he's going to do 2 damage in round 3. But the zombie is going to do 3. 3 total. Oh, man. Are we greedy for dead cell? Or do we try to live longer? That's kind of the question here. That's actually a really tough choice. Oh shit. I'm gonna hope that there's a heal because we beat this and then we're gonna go in the interbiome and I'm hoping we can heal there. I feel like maybe you can. Oh, the healer and the merchant and everything also, they level up as well. That's cool. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the shield. Break his shield there. All right, so actually, I'm sorry. That damage would not go there. The shield just comes off. And that is it for round 2 for me. The zombie's gonna go. Go ahead. Take a damage on our main guy here for now. And then we're gonna go ahead and move to round 3. So round 3 triggers, and I have a loot. We're gonna go ahead and take that scroll. And I think you have to wait till the end of combat to use that. And then Serenade's gonna go and do double damage and hit the Grenadier. So he's dead, which gets us another dead cell. Okay. And we have double loot, which doesn't really do anything for us in this scenario. Zombie's gonna go ahead and do another damage now. We'll give that to Serenade. We are both at 2 of 4. And then round 4 triggers, which is him doing another damage. And I will take the damage, I guess. Oh man, that is brutal. Yeah, we're gonna stack that so we get the mark. Okay, so we were successful. So in this case, we are going to be moving to the toxic sewers. So we were able to beat the first biome in our first try. I don't know if that's good or bad or expected. I have no idea, but that was actually really rough. That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So Serenade actually runs out of cards. Serenade can only play 3 cards in a biome. So when the biome ends, that's when we get to refresh the deck for Serenade. So Serenade gets its cards back as well. I believe we're going to have to probably read to see what we're going to be doing here. Oh, sorry. On the interbiome, because this is the first time we're going to be going there. Interbiome. Okay. A place where you can catch your breath. Please perform the following steps in order. To collect blueprints. If the group placed any blueprints on the collector space, they must now place the blueprints on top of the equipment deck for free. Don't forget these blueprints are now permanently in your equipment deck. Don't return it to the blueprint deck after your run. So we didn't get any blueprints. Okay. And then visit the market. Each character in the interbiome section provides the group with different items that they may purchase. What can be purchased, for how much, and how many times is indicated on each character. Like on the merchant tile. See market action below for instructions on how to purchase. Market actions. Cards are discarded. Any blueprint cards are placed on the bottom. Okay. The healer. The group may pay the indicated number of gold teeth to remove 1 damage token from a beheaded board of their choice. They may do this as many times as indicated. Wow, so we only get 1 heal. So we're definitely going to do that. Go ahead and pay our gold tooth. And heal a damage from me. Draw as many cards. Let's see, the collector. Ooh, so the collector lets you buy blueprints. Okay. So draw as many cards from the bottom of the blueprint deck as indicated. 1 for level 0 collector in this instance. And purchase as many of them for the cost indicated. And place them on top of the equipment deck. In the order you wish. Okay. Not be spent in the interbiome phase. Okay, and then this is the next biome. You must now take down the biome your group just finished and set up the biome or boss indicated on the exit your group passed through. Return all biome tiles, monster cards, and blueprints of the biome you just finished. The equipment cards remain where they are. Follow the same steps for the next biome as normal. Okay? So, what we can do here is the collector cost 4 gold in order to unlock a blueprint. So we don't get the blueprint immediately, but it unlocks it and puts it in our equipment deck permanently. We do not have enough money to also buy an equipment, which is unfortunate. But we will spend 4 in order to get a permanent blueprint unlock. And this says, take the card from the bottom of this deck and place it face up on the collector space of your interbiome section of the mutations board. Oh. And place it face up on the collector's space. Oh, am I supposed to do that right away? So we can see what we're going to buy? Oh, so this was supposed to be out, so we have an idea of what we are purchasing. Is that the same for the merchant, though? I don't think so. Interesting, interesting. Draw as many cards from the bottom of the blueprint deck as indicated. And purchase as many of them for the cost indicated. And then you put them on top of the equipment deck. Yeah, so I think that's supposed to be out. Maybe during setup. But I am going to purchase this, and that does go on top of our equipment deck now. So we unlocked the broadsword as an option that we can maybe get this run or get in a future run. I also did get a purple scroll during that last combat, so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that on my character there. And yeah, that is the end of our interbiome phase. We don't have enough money now. Oh no, we do have 2 gold teeth. Because that was only 4 and we had a single. So actually, I think we keep the beginner's bow for now. Because that sword, we did get to see it. It was on round 3, so it's a very late item. If we had more equipment slots, it would definitely be worth it to have different round activating items. But in this scenario, we only get to choose one, and I do like having that round 1 option, so we can try to take things out as fast as possible and not take damage. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of these tiles. Bum, bum, bum. And this is a very, very easy cleanup. So there's a section for the tiles for each biome. So we just pop those back into the box and move our character down. And as we can see here, that's it. You just flip this up. The zombie gets discarded. That is the end of that one. I believe I have the other ones further up. The normal monsters will come together here, and the elite monsters as well. And then we have these separators, these dividers in here. So we're just going to find the one for the prison quarters. And we're just going to slide these cards back in there for a future run. And the blueprints are the ones that get thrown back in here. So we are going to be going to... Was it Toxic Sewers, is my guess? Yes. So we are going to the Toxic Sewers. So we just look for that little divider there, and we grab all those cards. And they're already nice and organized. So that's our new blueprint stack. These are our elites, and these are our normal monsters. And all we need is the board and the tiles. We'll give these a little bit of a shuffle. That's our elite track. Okay. And that is our normal monsters going up there. Set the round 1 tracker back. And then let me go grab the biome board for Toxic Sewers, and then we will continue our run. I don't think this run's going to go much longer. I'm hurting really bad. And I did not get any heals yet. So I'm a little scared. Okay, here we go. There's our Toxic Sewers board. So what do you think so far, babe, from what you've seen? It's very simple and it's very easy to set up. But I like the decision. I like the fact that you are selecting in a multiple player game. You're only selecting one card. So it's not like you don't have to like super overthink it. Like you still want to think about it a good amount, but like you're not going to be like picking like a whole deck to draw from, and you don't have to like go super hard on prepping for your turn. And the fact that it limits communication when you're playing with other people makes it so you can't like, you know, like, I don't know, there's ups and downs to both of it. Like I do enjoy working as a team and trying to figure out like the best way to do a turn, but I do enjoy the idea of it's not always going to like having kind of some randomness there. Like I feel like that adds more fun to the runs where it's not just, oh, let's just do this in this order every time and it works. Sounds fun to you. Heck yeah. We should definitely play that this weekend. We should see if we can get Aiden to play this. Okay. We got those. And this is literally the entire setup for the entire run. So we just take the tiles that are for that biome. Give them a little shuffle. We're just gonna pop them out here randomly. And the last two, you just got two of these guys. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, I did miss one slot there. One more door. And once again, there's that rune icon. So if we ever unlock that rune, we can flip that tile over right away and actually get an idea of what is coming. Okay. So yeah, the rest of the tiles just go back in the box, and you go on your merry way. So we're gonna start up here, and I'm gonna let you decide, babe. Should I go right or should I go down? I don't know what that like hazard poison icon is. Seems terrible. Oh, it's actually on the bottom of the board here. So when the group passes through a corridor with this icon, the first player must perform a deck check. If they fail, take a damage? Oh my, this is actually just meant to kill us. That's awful. So if we go right, we're going to get an extra one. If we go down, we have to fight, but we get one less of those. It's definitely a risk reward. Oh, and we should have lost our 2 gold. Let me make sure I do that. Go right. Oh god. All right, so we're gonna flip our door. So first player marker moves over. We get a gold tooth. I don't know what the heck that icon means. So let's see. So this says discard. A player can discard a combat card from their hand and add a new card from their draw pile. Okay, so that sounds optional. And I'm guessing the little, looks like behead icons means everybody does it. Effect is applied to all beheaded. Yep, exactly what it means. Okay. So we can choose to discard. He can't do anything, so it's just going to be me anyway. And this would be useful if I had an icon on the top of my card that could trigger a effect for Serenade, but we actually don't have anything. So I don't want to overlap that and then get rid of the free mark. These cards also kind of suck. That's tough. Because I don't have any damage early on. You have my bow. Man, this is gonna be, I feel like I'm gonna die very, very quickly. Okay, so now we're gonna go through there, and because we're hitting that, we now must perform a deck check. So we need to get any icon with this card draw. And we're good. Okay. So now the deck check, I want to see if we... Where did I put... Oh, whatever. I need to see if I discard that card or if I just put it back down. Checks. Okay. Whenever you see this symbol, you will need to perform a deck check. The first player draws the top card. If it shows one indicated, they gain the associated reward. If it does not, they do not. That card is discarded. Okay. So that card does get discarded, but it is a green, so it is going to trigger something for Serenade. Man, that's a freaking good card too. That's unfortunate. Okay. So we survived it. So now we're going to move the first player marker again. And we have all kinds of different icons here. So it looks like we get a health and we get a tooth, which is great. Let's see, vial. Yep, remove 1 damage token. Go ahead and do that. You may have picked the right choice, babe. This is looking decent. Now, what does that icon mean? It does have a rune symbol, but I don't know what the second thing means. It looks like a chocolate bear or something. It looks like this icon, but I don't know if that means we flip it over. It is not showing me. on there at least. Bum bum bum. Let's see if we can find skills. No. I don't know what that icon means. And I can't even imagine the bosses. Okay, maybe it's here. Exploring. If there is a rune symbol blocking a corridor. Okay, no. What does that mean? And I feel like I'm going crazy here. What are you listening to? I can't hear it. The playlist is a copyright-free jazz playlist. Sounds like trumpets for an hour. I don't know if it's telling me to flip over a rune. Hmm. Is it saying if I have that rune? Because it does show the rune icon up here as well. And that would flip that over. Yeah, I think if you have that rune, you get to flip that over. And I just checked it just to see if I could understand this rule. But it was positive effects. So I think, once again, I still don't think that that is activating the rune. But I think it is, if I had that rune, I get to flip that over and I get the benefits of it. So I don't think that stuff happens. So now I have to go down. I don't know what the heck that icon means. There's some wacky stuff going on here. There's some like weird, it almost looks like a horn or a worm. So let's go ahead and flip this over. Oh god, we have an elite and a normal monster. What does that icon mean? I feel like there's a lot of like really subtle little things that it's not explaining, and I don't know if I should know what that means or if I should literally just Hope that the game is going to guide me when needed on what that stuff is. Because that is not an icon on here, and that is not an icon in the book. And there's no particular guide for like the individual biomes that I've seen. So nothing is really specified. And it doesn't even have it on the board. It does have the green icon, but it doesn't have that one. Okay, so we're just going to assume that we don't know what that means yet and just continue. So now we're going to have an elite monster. Oh god, disgusting worm. And ooh, he has a poison effect, which is terrible. And when he dies, he does damage to us. Great. And then we're going to also have a normal monster, and he is spawning all the way to the right. So this guy is they're the buzz cutters. They are going to do damage, and they have some kind of multiplier. Deal as much damage as the beheaded or enemy doing the damage has health points left. What? It just does the rest of your health. Excuse me. I'm dead. Yeah, it's probably GG. Alright. Alright, let's take a look at our cards. So we do have our bow, so we can do 1 damage to the buzz cutter. We have a green, so we are going to get a freeze. But unfortunately, none of them have any actions in this combat round. So freezing either of them is actually pointless. That is unfortunate. Let's just throw it on that guy for now. I don't know. Okay. And we have nothing that can hit the cutters at ranged. We can trigger a skill and a bleed. I feel like the bleed is the move. We might be dead here. So we're gonna pick those 2 cards. We're gonna go ahead and flip over Serenade's card. Okay. Okay. Move our guys up here. Oh, and there is loot here as well. We got a little perpy scroll. All right. Oh god. So we can do burning, or we can mark, because we have unlocked 2 of those effects now. And it says on fire, place an on fire token on one opponent. A character with 2 on fire tokens dies immediately. So burning doesn't do any damage itself, but if you get 2 stacks of it, it just immediately kills the target, which is pretty sick. The problem is we're not doing burning in any other way this turn, so we will not be able to get 2 burnings. So we're just gonna go ahead and do a mark. And we can mark, and we can nuke that thing pretty quick here. To be fair, you're supposed to die. That is very accurate. So we could mark. Oh, we can't hit that guy with the bow. So that would only be 2 damage, and neither of those attacks can reach the buzz cutter to start. Yeah, so I think we mark the buzz cutter. We hit the buzz cutter with a bow. So he's going to take 2 damage. And then Serenade will also do another damage to him. And that will go ahead and kill him. So we at least get this guy out of the way and he doesn't just obliterate somebody. So he's dead, and we get a dead cell for that guy. So that's definitely worth it. We want as many of those as we can get. Okay, and then he does nothing round 1, so now we're going to move down to round 2. Round 2, I'm going to apply bleed. So I will guarantee kill him. But he's going to get to do his action first. So a little bleed token. And then, let's see. I'm also going to do 1 point of damage to him, which does not really matter. And then he's going to go ahead and do his thing because Serenade is not doing anything. So in this scenario, a player must discard their active card. And that's targeting... Oh, so that's getting rid of one of my cards. So this card's not doing anything round 3, so we will do that. But yeah, he just straight up removes a card. That's kind of crazy. And then he's going to place poison token on one opponent. Take 1 unblockable damage at the end of every round. Oh yeah, I'm dead. So now we got poison on our guy here. And that's going to be end of the round, which means I'm going to take a point of damage. This is awful. And then we're going to go into round 3, where I'm going to do another damage to him, but he still has 2 health left. Once again, Serenade is doing a whole lot of nothing, making this a lot harder than it needs to be. And yeah, he does not do anything additional in round 3, but I still have poison. So I will take another point of unblockable damage. I am alive with 1 health. And then because that is the end of round 3 and he is bleeding, he dies. And thankfully, he does do a damage when he dies, but I can give that to Serenade. So we both have 1 health left. And we get a piece of loot. Yay! We got our broadsword. That adds a damage, range 1 to 2 at the end of round 3. Yeah, I don't think we're going to use that. Unfortunate. I can't wait to get more equipment slots already. Like, that's going to feel so good. Alright, so that gets discarded. I need to shuffle to draw up. Serenade's card goes away. We lived. But we have to go through one of those poison markers again. And if we fail, we take a damage and we die. Oh no. I'm gonna die to a check. Wait, I didn't draw any of my symbols, so there's hope. There's hope. Okay, so oh, we didn't do any looting, so we didn't get the scroll. That's unfortunate. All right, so we go back up to round 1, and we have to go right. We have to follow the arrows. So we need to go ahead and do this check. And if we do not get any of the symbols on the top left, we take a damage. And both characters are at 3 of 4, so we would die. Okay, we're still alive. Oh my gosh. We are still alive. So now we get to flip the chest over and hope that this... We need this chest to just heal everything. We just need a giant mega heal. So we get to pick a purple scroll or a chest. I mean... I feel like I'm just gonna keep my bow. Like, I don't know. There's just nothing... It's not worth it. So, yeah, I'm just going to take a purple scroll. Oh, I could use it on Serenade. And heal and upgrade their scroll, which gives me a heal. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We get a heal. We're going to remove a damage from me. Mainly because I'm the leader right now, so if any leader-specific damage comes out, I can try to stay alive. If we go up, we have to do another check. But there's a possibility I can do the deck check if I survive the next combat and get another heal. Or I can go down and not have to do any checks. Well, I do a green check. I don't know what that gets me. Oh, that's the hand check? Oh, does that mean we can't go that way if I can't do that? Oh shit, it literally like blocks you off. So I have to go up. Oh no. Dude, I get like a lot of the descriptions I saw of this game. They're like, it's one of those games where you just want to keep playing and just going over and over again. I know I'm gonna die, and I just want to jump right back into it with a few more upgrades just to get a little bit further. Like, I can already feel that itch of like, I want to do one more run, one more run, one more run. Okay, so performing a check means you put... Okay. Whenever you see these symbols, you will need to perform a hand check. If the first player is able to discard a combat card from their hand with a required symbol, the group has passed the check. If that check was in a corridor of the biome, the group may move through. If they don't have the card, the group has failed the check. If that check was in a corridor of the biome, the group cannot move through that corridor and must choose another route. Oh no! So I don't have any symbols in my hand, which means I cannot go middle or down. I have to go... let's see, let's turn that way a little bit. I have to go up, which means I have to do a deck check, and if I don't, I take a damage. Wow. Okay. So we're gonna do another deck check here. And we got another symbol. We're getting lucky here. So we're gonna go up here, but now we're gonna go into another combat. Oh boy. So the loot, I don't know if that, I should probably check if that gets flipped upwards when they have loot or if it's downwards, even though I already did it. So this encounter is going to have an actual piece of equipment that is lootable. Okay, okay. I'm not sure. We're just going to leave that there. And then, yeah, it's going to be 2 normal enemies. Please be easy. Oh god, what is that? So we have our first enemy that's going to be spawning on the left side of me. It is a scorpion. Round 1, he does damage. Round 2, he poisons, my favorite. And if we beat him, we get a brutality level up, which is awesome. And then our second monster is going to be the kamikaze. Great. So second turn, invisible, this enemy. Oh, cool. Second turn, this enemy can't be targeted for any action this round. And then the third one, he does 3 damage and kills himself. AKA something's gonna die. So he's gonna spawn in the first slot. He only has 2 health, but the scorpion also only has 2 health. Bruh. What is this? All right. We do have our... Oh my god, I can't hit anything with the bow. I can't hit anything in the first or left slot. No. I should have took the sword. Oh, but we do have... Oh, we have brutality in our discard pile, but that allows Serenade to do damage at the end of round 3. Or at the start of round 3. So it would happen before the kamikaze. But I'm going to take a damage and get poisoned in round 2. and die. So yeah, about that. I think we can pull this off. I think there's hope. I think there's hope. So I can mark. And then next round, I could do a damage. Ooh, I do have double mark as well. I could burn something to death. So I could loot the shovel. And when you loot, I believe you get to use the equipment right away. Oh, it's round 3 though. So he's not going to do anything to me, which isn't bad. Do I want to mark something? That's kind of the question here. Well, I'm definitely playing that card. There's no questions asked there. The question is do I want to loot and then after I could mark and then attack. If Serenade gets a round 1 attack, we could kill the Scorpion. I think the safest bet is I mark the Scorpion and I guarantee do a damage to the Scorpion myself. And then I could put a bleed. Now, see, the bleed is useless here because that's at the end of round 3, which means he would do his suicide attack first. But we are going to get that guaranteed damage from him at the end of round 3. So I think we do this so we mark again. That way we can mark both the Scorpion and the Kamikaze, and then the 1 damage each of us are doing is going to do 1 additional, which would kill both of them. I think that's the move. Wow, this is getting intense with like not... I don't really have a lot going on like in terms of like build yet, and my cards are all the basic ones, but it's already like very, very intense. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and flip over Serenade's card. Serenade is doing double damage at in round 3. All right. So now that we know that, target cannot be by any action. Burn. It really doesn't matter what I do. Because I could do the double burn, but it's still going to take till the end of round 2. Or I could do mark damage, loot, mark. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I do here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and mark the Scorpion. We're going to loot the shovel, which we will probably end up using the shovel. We got another new symbol that I do not know what it does. Oh, inflicts 1 unblockable damage. Oh, so that goes through shields. It's at the end of round, or it's in round 3. So once again, it's a very slow weapon. We're gonna do it. We're gonna commit. We're switching out the bow. And then I marked already. We don't have any round 0 effects, I believe. Yeah, we are not moved over on the brutality track. Okay. And then Serenade's not going to do anything for this turn. The Scorpion is going to do a damage. So this is where we are getting into very scary territory. Now we are in round 2. We cannot target the Kamikaze this round. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Oh, no, we're fine. Because marking doesn't matter here. So we are able to do 1 damage with our second round action here. So we're absolutely going to hit the Scorpion. Get rid of him first. Wait. Because he's on the left, does he go first? I didn't think about that. Oh no. So I think because he's on the left, he gets to go before me. That is the order. That is why that bar is there, to kind of show. Oh, that's really bad. So yeah, I think I'm screwed here. I don't have a way to stop that. And he's gonna put poison on me. Now, I guess the question is does the poison go away when he dies? Because poison damage happens at the end of a round. Place a poison token on one opponent. Take one unblockable damage at the end of every round. Is there any way to get rid of poison? Let's see. This is gonna have to be a little Google search. Dead Cells board game. How to get rid of poison, if it's even possible. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that says it goes away. Oh, man, that sucks. As far as I'm aware, I could be doing this wrong. So he applies poison to me first. Then we would go. So I would hit him and he had the mark, which would kill him. And that's going to move my brutality track up. So he is dead. And then I can't target the Kamikaze in round 2 because it has invisibility. So I'm unable to mark it. And Serenade does nothing in round 2. So then we end round 2 and we go into round 3. But at the end of the round, I take a damage. And because I have poison and it's unblockable. So that is going to go ahead and kill me right there. Dang. I didn't think him being to the left was... I didn't even think about that. I didn't consider that aspect of it. That is really unfortunate. I was 1 health away because the next round we would have had double damage from Serenade, which would have ended it. And we would have had another damage here. Yeah. So I think that is it. I think that is the end of our first run of Dead Cells, the roguelite board game. Go ahead and over, if I'm able to. I'm having like even the mouse, I don't know why today in the wireless mode it's been very, very finicky. It just keeps disconnecting. It's unfortunate. Probably do some driver updates tomorrow. You made some clips? Oh, nice. I didn't even think about that. I've never made clips on YouTube. Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. Oh man, this is like not having it. Okay. So yeah, I guess like my initial thoughts, since that was my first time playing this, that's really, really fun. Even just starting, like I didn't even get to the point. I know I get to use my dead cells here, or my cells rather, and I get to get some permanent upgrades. So I will do that here in a second. But it felt like combat, you have to really think about that one card. In this scenario, I get to pick two because I'm playing solo, but you really have to consider what that card is going to do, not just in round 1, but in 2, 3, and 4, if there's any kind of effect on it. But not only that, you're also considering the icons on your cards, because if you get rid of those cards and then you have hand checks and you're unable to meet that requirement, and you're unable to meet that requirement, then you end up not being able to go certain paths. And then you never know if the first player marker is going to move from different tiles, different events that can happen throughout the run, and all of that is randomized. And the enemies have so many different, types of rewards that you can get. You can get more cells, you can get more gold, you can get, in some cases, scroll upgrades, or even damage is getting taken right off the bat. So there's just so much variety, even in this. Like, we are in biome 2, and I believe there's 7. So you have 7 different biomes, and some of those flip on the other side, and there's boss encounters. So these 2 locations at the end of the toxic sewers go to a boss, and we didn't even see what a boss looks like yet. Even just having that scorpion spawn on the left hand side of me and getting to go before me, like, I don't know, I really enjoy this. And this definitely gives you that itch of just like, I want to do one more run. I just want to do another one. I want to get another upgrade. I want to be a little bit stronger. I want to see how far I can get. And there's so many, not just character upgrades, but you also have that board that is tracking permanent upgrades that are going to affect you in every run, going forward. So like, it affects how many pieces of equipment you can carry. Eventually you can have 3, and having a piece of equipment that activates on round 1, 2, and 3, or even at the same time, like, that's going to be crazy. That's going to have like very powerful effects right off the gate. Like, you're going to feel way stronger doing the first biome again. And then you have the rune unlocks. Like, I didn't get any runes this run, so like, once you get those runes, that's going to have permanent effects on the board. We already saw one of them. It's going to allow the tiles in those slots to be flipped face up right away. So now you know what is going to happen in that area, and that can dictate, which direction you may want to go right away. This weekend I'll help you with timestamps. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was going to do that. I am like amongst like working on like 2 different videos, so I keep getting like sidetracked. I'm like super ADHD brain right now, but I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. But yeah, there's so much variety, even in the first 2 biomes from what I saw. And that's not even including the runes. That's not even including the teleportation stones that we're not even able to activate yet. That's not including boss encounters, skill upgrades, getting better cards added to my deck. So, I start to get more powerful ones that come out instead of the basic ones. If I went down the route of continuing to play solo and had Serenade, I can add those skill upgrade cards to Serenade's deck as well. So like, Serenade becomes more powerful instead of having some pretty dead turns in some instances. Yeah, like, there's just so much. And the skill upgrades, I don't even know when you get to this. I am guessing, oh, okay, I see. So if you look at the top of this card, it has 2 cells. So whenever, I guess I get to spend 2 cells at the end of my run, and it says take the bottom card of this deck. Look how many cards there are. And this is just the survival, like the green deck. And then you have the tactics deck, and you have to do them in order. So you continue to grab the bottom card every time you spend cells. So like, those are permanent. Like, you acquire those, and it's not only like rewarding to feel that upgrade of like, ooh, I got a new card, or I got like a new item, or I got something new that's gonna immediately affect my next run, but you also know that you're withering away at this deck and just getting further and further into it. And if I had to take a guess, I would assume like the best cards are going to be at the very top of that deck. So like as you go, you're getting upgrades that are better than what you have now, but the cards are going to just get progressively better and better and better the further in you go. So the more runs you do, the more cells you get, the more you commit to a particular deck to upgrade, like the stronger that's going to be. And so there's the tactics deck, there's a survival deck, there's the brutality deck, and all of these cost 2 cell for each upgrade. And we ended that run with 5. And then you also have the abandoned well deck, which I'm guessing is the cards are maybe not as good. I don't know. I don't know that for certain, but these only cost 1 cell. So I have 5, so I could buy 2 skill upgrades, and then I could get a well upgrade. And maybe this is where the runes unlock. Like that could be a possibility where you get that card and say, hey, now you have this rune, flip it over in the book. Now that rune affects all these other things that are happening in the game. It's just, I don't know. I really like this already. And it's not easy. I think coming from Dungeon Legends, I'm going to continue playing that, and I'm going to continue to see how that difficulty ramps up. But in that game, you only have 5 chapters, so you have 5 scenarios, and each scenario has a set difficulty. The first one did have the option to require you to repeat the same action a little bit more, and that was kind of the difficulty scaling. But I don't think that would have made it much more difficult at all. So if 3 of those scenarios are around that difficulty range and it's that easy, like it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel rewarding to win in that kind of scenario. And it makes me think that game's just more meant to be like a family weight. Like maybe you're playing with your kids and the options aren't like super difficult. Like, you know, the moves in that game are very, very simple. But yeah, this felt hard. Like I felt like the moment I took a point of damage in the first fight, I have 3 hit points. Like 2 more points and I'm dead, and that's the end of the run. So I already had to think of like, oh, what if I get the crown? And what if the damage targets the person with the crown and there's nothing I can do to prevent that? Or you know, do I want to go the route that is going to have a higher chance of having less encounters? Because I don't want to fight anything right now because I'm super weak. And in this scenario, I didn't want to do checks because I knew I was weak, but I couldn't go any other way because the cards in my hand didn't meet the hand check. So I would fail the hand check. Yeah, this is really cool. And I've only played the Immolated, so that's 1 character. There's 4 characters. They each have their own unique abilities. So I don't even know how the other characters play. One of them looked like a big shield character. And I'm guessing he's going to be able to provide some kind of shield to teammates, like give us shields. And it's just going to play entirely differently. Serenade, I'm not a huge fan of the way Serenade plays, because when you're playing with other people, you at least get an idea of what they're going for. So if someone says, hey, I'm going to do damage in round 2, you can kind of work off of that. Maybe not put damage in round 2, maybe focus your damage in round 1 or 3 if you can. If someone else is going to loot, you're not going to want to loot and like double up and then waste a turn or something. But with Serenade, you like obviously you don't get any of that vocalized and you don't know what's coming. Thankfully, the cards give you some leeway in terms of like the range. So if there's multiple enemies, you can go, okay, I'll hit this guy instead while the AI is going to hit the other one. But there's just instances where if you were able to work with another player, you would have a little bit more flexibility to be like, okay, I know you're going to be doing this, I'm going to do this other thing, and be a little bit more effective in combat. I guess the balance there is supposed to be the fact that I get to play 2 cards instead of 1 in a 3 to 4 player game. So I do get, I guess, like 2 choices where that's typically not a thing. But yeah, I don't know. I watched someone else kind of discuss this game and do a playthrough, and they actually chose to play 3 characters by themselves while playing solo instead of using Serenade because they disliked that system so much. I do like the fact that I have to think about my discard pile with Serenade, like having to try to maximize, like, oh, I want to make sure this symbol's on top of my discard pile because in the next encounter Serenade gets to do this effect right away. Like, I think that's cool. I think that aspect of it is really neat. But yeah, even like the scroll upgrades, I don't know, it's a little bit lacking where I think I would prefer to play with real people if the option's available to me. It functions. Like I got fairly far in my first run, I would say. So it's not like it's not working, but there's a lot more kind of hoping that it just works out, you know, that the card Serenade draws happens to work out with what your game plan is. Like I pretty much felt like I had to play my 2 cards assuming that I didn't have another person, and if they did something that was helpful, it was kind of a bonus at that point. The one thing I do know that we never had happen is if we ever have more than 3 encounters, let's go ahead and just slide these off. Serenade no longer has any cards to play until that biome ends, so they just do the action that is on the card. So Serenade would do 1 damage in round 2, and that is it every single time if there was ever more than 3 encounters in a biome. That feels like trash. Like there is that, like that's going to be nowhere near the power or ability of like a real player having, because when you run out of cards as a real player, you just shuffle and draw 3 again. So you're always going to have way better options, and Serenade is just always going to default to that. And even when the AI like powers up and you get to flip this over, the final ability on there is the same thing. It's 1 damage in round 2. You do have a little bit more, yeah, so like her abilities in terms of the discard situation get more potent, but oh man, it also loses a health. So now it only has 1 health. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because the brutality marker, I think there's a plus. I think it heals. Is that what that means? I don't see it at first glance, but not every single damage icon has a plus in front of it. So I feel like it heals when it does that, which I didn't know. So that's actually pretty nice. But yeah, at the end of the day, I would prefer to play with real people. I think I may even try doing 3-handed. That seems like a lot, and I don't know, that I feel like that's cheating. Yeah, you know what, that doesn't work. Like you could do that, but then you know every card you're playing on every character, which is just you have way too much control, and I feel like that would trivialize the game too much. So yeah, I don't think 3-handing it works, but it would break the difficulty of the game, because the game is assuming that you cannot know exactly what every character is going to be doing at all times. Right. But yeah, so that's kind of my only real gripe with this so far. The equipment deck, I don't know if I get to keep my equipment from run to run. It seems like equipment is thrown at you pretty often, and when you unlock blueprints, those weapons just get added to the equipment deck permanently. So in future runs, there's a chance you get that weapon again, or you get like one of your newer weapons or even an older weapon. So there's a lot of variety in like what your build's going to look like as the weapons are coming out. So my guess is you don't keep those, and I'm assuming I'm also going to lose my scrolls. So I will I will check all of these things as I go through the kind of the end game situation here. But the last bit, which is super exciting, is there is also a deck of secrets. And it looks like this equipment, it's legendary equipment. So I don't know how you obtain this. I have no idea. Like, there's nothing indicating that. It's just something that you will eventually have happen. But you can get legendary equipment. And I don't know if that's permanent. I don't know if that just gets added to that pile. I don't know how that works yet. But like once again, like, there's so many breadcrumbs in every direction of like, oh, if you do one more, or if you go a little bit further, or if you get a little bit further this run, or if you beat a boss, like, who knows what we get rewarded for that. There's so many things that, like, I felt like I made some progress doing this, but I know when I get a little bit further and I do a little bit better, there's going to be bigger points of progress. There's going to be bigger things that are going to have more substantial effects on the game. And that is freaking exciting. Like, that is like, God, I am so stoked to play this again. I want to play right now. If I didn't have work tomorrow, I absolutely would just be resetting up the first biome and going, you know, just starting right off the bat again. The last thing that is just the icing on the cake on top of all of this, and I think I have it on the other side. Hold on, let me just grab it real quick. All right, yeah. So the last thing, this is the only thing in the box that's like this. So you have all these things, like you know, like my goal right now is I want to beat every boss at least once. I want to unlock the runes. I want to upgrade my merchants. I want to upgrade my bag slots. And then they have this thing in the box. You have no idea what this is. And it just says, do not open until instructed to. So on top of all this other shit you're like focusing on upgrading and working towards, you also have this like really cool envelope that is about the size of a character board. But it feels like there's a lot of stuff in here. Like, it feels like there's cards, blah, blah, blah. But this could be a whole nother character. Like, you could unlock a new character with new cards, new abilities, on top of everything else that's going on. And then I could even play a different character if I wanted to. Like, the game in the rules explicitly says, like, you don't have to play the same character every time. You can just switch. And I'm guessing you can, like, move your skill cards around, maybe from character to character, so you don't lose that power. And you keep some of that progress. The equipment deck's going to stay upgraded. The runes are going to stay upgraded. The merchants, the bags are going to stay upgraded. So I can just play a different character and have a totally different build. Yeah, I really freaking like this. I was excited from what I saw. I was excited when it got here. But damn. Yeah, I just want to play more of this. So yeah, that is it for me. As I get more plays and I get further into the game and you know, hopefully gets to do some plays with Amber so we can get some like multiplayer runs going and not just doing like solo with Serenade kind of situation. I can get a feel for how that plays out as well. But what I can say is I enjoyed losing. And all it did was make me want to play again. I did not have that feeling of like, oh, that felt unfair. Oh, that's like that. I just wasted my time. Oh, I don't want to set this up again. Like, it is easy to set up. It is easy to start. It is not complicated to understand. But there is strategy. There is build crafting. There is trying to min-max your turns. Oh, I love it. So that's going to be it for today. I can talk about this forever because I am super, super stoked. But that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. We will probably be streaming again, possibly this weekend. If not this weekend, we definitely will be streaming again next week. And we will 100% be playing more of this. And then hopefully I can get a review out and get some more of my thoughts out there with some more playtime under my belt. and let you know if I think this is a good long-term game. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and I'll catch you on the next stream. And of course, my mouse is not going to work. So we're going to have a very slow exit. It worked for like a split second. Nope. Yep, maybe. I can't. We're good. There we go. We did the thing. We did it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll catch you on the next one.